LoreWarrior Armour Double Feature, Bandit Hovercraft. Overview. Major Sean Rutherford, head of Wolf Dragoon's Contract Operations Group, contacted the president of the Blackwell Corporation in January 2007 to negotiate a contract for production of combat vehicles and replacement parts. 3 vehicles were commissioned: the Kestrel VTOL Transport, the Badger APC, and the Bandit Hovercraft. Blackwell, then a minor manufacturer of actuator parts and mech components, grew dramatically in the intervening years, and that growth remains difficult to explain. Throughout the Inner Sphere, the early quarter of the century was characterized by water raids, technology losses, and scrupulous salvage operations. The machinery and tools required to expand an industrial facility to the extent that Blackwell did were not available on the open market, and no records exist that suggest Blackwell received the spoils from some other vanquished facility. Nevertheless, the first Bandit was delivered to the Dragoons by March of 2008, and this vehicle has been in exclusive Dragoon use ever since. Capabilities. The Bandit has served the Dragoons well. The major advantage of it is its versatility. With at least 7 significant known variants in existence, like the Badger, the Bandit's weaponry is modular in nature and can be very quickly reconfigured in the field as circumstance require. It's rumoured, with an admittedly low level of reliability, that Dragoon techs have become adept at remounting different weapon systems on Bandits after allowing enemy recon patrols to glimpse the vehicles to add a further level of confusion to the battle once the enemy are engaged. Deployment. The Bandit is only found in service with Wolf Dragoons. Until 3055, the Bandit was the standard APC for half of all of the Dragoon infantry units, and with the unit's recent reorganisation, the Dragoons threw much of its infantry resources toward outfitting its troops with battlesuits. Because battlesuit infantry don't need personnel carriers, the Bandit is now found exclusively with the Dragoon Support Command and Home Guard. 3058 Upgrade Overview. Shortly after Wolf Dragoons appeared in the Inner Sphere, they contracted with the Blackwell Corporation, then a minor manufacturer of actuator parts and mech components, to exclusively produce 3 vehicles: the Kestrel VTOL, the Badger APC, and this, the Bandit Hovercraft. By all accounts, the Dragoons supplied not only the finished plans for these vehicles, but also significant technical assistance, expanding and upgrading Blackwell's operations so the company could build the vehicles. Blackwell delivered the first Bandit in March of 3008, a little more than a year after the mercenaries first made contact with the company. Like the Kestrel and Badger, the Bandit's future is uncertain with the recent destruction of Blackwell Corporation. Capabilities. Very likely an old clan design hailing from the Golden Century, the Bandit has served the Dragoons well. The first omni-vehicle design in the Inner Sphere, along with the Badger, it's quickly reconfigurable and extremely versatile. The Dragoons commonly field 7 major configurations, with some concentrating on close-range firepower, while others excel in ranged combat. Deployment. Bandits make up some half of the APCs in service with the Dragoons, most being assigned to the Support Command and Home Guard, though some now serve in line combat units. Throughout its service life within the Inner Sphere, the Bandit has been sold exclusively to Dragoons. Based on the number of bandits seen within the ranks of other mercenary units, though, the Dragoons must have lifted the restriction. Likewise, the Dragoons were likely selling it to the Star League before that body's collapse. Variants. Unique for an Omni vehicle, the Bandit has 2 known variants on its base design, both clan tech in nature. Both are complete duplicates of the Inner Sphere Tech Bandit, with one exception: mounting ferrofibrous armour. These Bandits gain back 2 valuable tons, allowing them to carry a greater load of infantry and mount additional weapons. The first is similar to the standard C model, mounting paired Streak 6 launchers in the turret. The second mounts an ER large laser and 2 standard SRM-2 racks in the turret, with a third SRM-2 launcher fixed forward. Curiously, neither of these seem to be Omni vehicles and have only appeared in limited numbers within the Dragoons. They've also been seen infrequently in service on the clan homeworlds. Notable crews: Sergeant Halloween Briggs. A vehicle commander in the Wolf Dragoon's Home Guard, Briggs and her platoon were on training when Colonel Wayne Waco and the insurgents he led assaulted Harlech. Briggs, a veteran of combat on a dozen worlds including Outreach during the Dragoon Civil War, rushed back to Harlech at the height of the battle, adding what fire she and her platoon could. Racing through the battered and destroyed streets, she sniped at insurgent mechs and mowed down any other enemies she encountered. By the time the Blakes struck with orbital bombardments months later, her platoon was no more, but she'd claimed 14 mech kills and some 50 more assists. No one has specifically seen or heard from her since, though rumours have it that an unmarked bandit is still patrolling the wastes of Outreach, killing every Blakist or surviving insurgent it comes across. Oh, it's like a ghost tank. The Bandit hover tank, as it says in 3058's upgrade version, not hovercraft for some reason, and then the write-up says hovercraft, so I don't really know what was going on with this print. Even it says here, type Bandit hovercraft, so hover tank seems like a mistake on their part. It's a 50-ton hover vehicle with a 215 Vox fusion power plant. It moves at 97 kph, 151 kph max speed. Armour is Protec 5. Armament is 7 tons of pod space, and its manufacturer is Blackwell Corporation on Outreach. Its communications is a Dalban Starlink 2, and it has targeting and tracking provided by Garrett E5A. What does this translate into then? Well, it's a cruise of 9 and a flank of 14, as with the previous regulator, 10 heatsinks, and it's equipped with a fixed cargo infantry slot to get them troops into the fight. Its armour by default is 42 on the front, 40 on the sides, 32 on the rear, and 22 on the turret. Fairly generous amount of protection there, which is what you expect from an APC. Its primary configuration is a trio of medium lasers in the turret, a machine gun in the front with 100 rounds of fire, and an SRM-2 in the front with 50 rounds of fire. Oh, sorry, 2 SRM-2s. Alternate configuration A is pretty simple and to the point. It has a PPC in the turret, and that's all it needs. Alternate configuration B is 2 SRM-4s in the turret with 25 shots split between them, and an SRM-2 on the body with 50 shots. Alternate configuration C is 2 SRM-6 in the turret with 15 rounds between them. Alternate configuration D is triple LRM-5 in the turret with 24 shots between them. Alternate configuration E is an LRM-10 in the turret with 12 shots and a medium laser in the front. Alternate configuration F is a large in the turret, a medium in the front, and an extra heatsink in the body. G configuration is 2 medium lasers in the turret, 6 small lasers in the front, and an extra 2 heatsinks located in the hull. And finally, the H configuration, which is a Streak 2 in the turret with 50 shots, and an ER medium laser in the turret. And additional cargo infantry in the body, so I guess that one can bring even more troopers to the fight. It's a neat little vehicle. It's not surprising that Wolf Dragoons would have something like that, and obviously later write-ups suggested that it was some kind of old clan Omni vehicle that has somehow been adapted to be built by Blackwell Corporation, I suppose. But yeah, it's not a bad-looking vehicle. I like the upgraded artwork from the 3058 version. Well, yeah, in the 3058, with the idea of the turret launcher sort of lifting up, and then when it's not in use, it sort of folds down to protect it a little bit more. Not like that has any actual rule bearing on the whole thing, but you know, there you go. It's also different that in the original book, obviously, there is no mention at all of some of the variants, like the H variant and like, based on when it was written and when certain equipment was available. But other than that, I mean, the original book goes up to configuration G for some reason. Oh yeah, G, yeah, G's there. H is the only one. Yeah, it doesn't cover. So yeah, fairly versatile vehicle. The only one that really confuses me out of the lot, to be honest, is alternate configuration C with the 2 SRM-6. It's just got so few shots. I guess you get it in there, it fires its ammo, it gets the feck out, I guess. But it's not even stunningly quick for a hover vehicle either. There are hover vehicles in this weight category that go a lot quicker, so I guess it's just relying on getting in, firing its weapons as much as possible, absorbing damage and getting the feck out. But motive hits are always a problem for hover vehicles, so yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I don't really know what to make of this one. There's definitely some good configurations, like the PPC Alpha version is pretty damn good. Even the standard is decent with the triple mediums and the machine gun and SRM. It makes it more than adequate for its role of being able to protect infantry as it moves in, dropping them off and firing while they move into a defensive position. The triple LRM-5 one is a good fire support model as well. Just a few of them, it's just enough peppering fire that can annoy, and damage can quickly mount up from, you know, smaller weapon systems like that. Again, ammo is just the big consideration though when you've got 24 shots split between the 3 launchers. But yeah, there's definitely some good ones. I think that the weakest one for me is probably either the C, or it's equal between the C and the E version. The LRM-10 with only 12 shots, and then it's left with a medium laser. I don't know. Seems a bit dodgy, that one. I wouldn't be sure. But I'm sure you will have good uses, good memories of the Bandit. So, as usual, let us know below, and have a good week, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.